You're listening to Tabletop Arcanum, a podcast dedicated to learning and exploring the hobby of tabletop gaming. Your hosts are Justin Taylor and Richard Geese, so sit back and relax as we talk, discuss, and joke our way through the hobby we love so much. You've studied the footage, connected the dots, and gathered what meager evidence you could. You're close. Soon, the whole world will know the truth behind the cryptid, and you will be the envy of cryptozoologists everywhere. In this unique deduction game, Honest Misdirection, players must try to uncover information about their opponent's clues while throwing them off the scent of their own. Each player holds a piece of evidence that will help them find the creature, and will consistently try to eke out more information from their opponents. Guard your clues carefully, and you might make the discovery of your life. Welcome to Tabletop Arcanum. This is Justin. I bring you a review of Cryptid by Osprey Games. This is a 3 to 5 player game, plays in 30 to 60 minutes, has an MSRP of $35. So Cryptid is one of those logic puzzle games that everybody has at least a rule that the Cryptid has with a specific setup. You're trying to guess with different spaces whose rules are true and whose rules are false in that sense. Now, one of the more interesting things about it is there is a bunch of different options in there, and there are some unique app setup options as well if you wanted to use them, but it is not required part of the game. With 3 to 5 players, you have 5 hint sheets that tell you what your rule is for the cryptid in your given scenario, and with 96 different games setups, there's a lot you can play, even replay, without having to worry about too much in there. First impressions with Cryptid. This is a neat game I came across back in 2018 and had this unique flavor of social deduction using your clues to try to pinpoint where this creature, Cryptid, lived using both positive and negative clues. While everybody has a piece of the evidence, everyone's piece is slightly different. Combined, the only space in the entire game that all of the rules are true is the habit. Now, it has some amazing components to it. You have 6 cardboard boards that fall into different configurations based on the game that you're playing, so that you can get your variety out of that. All of the wooden pieces and tokens are beautifully colored, and you have a fantastic art cover on the front that gives you an impression of kind of what you're looking for, kind of a Loch Ness monster sort of hideous thing. Unfortunately, the back of the box doesn't really do much in the way of portraying what the game actually looks like on the table, so it's very hard to identify from the box itself what you're really getting yourself into. So hopefully this review will give you a better idea. The rules are very, very simple, and I love it for that. The trick to the game is making sure that you are following all the logic rules and everybody understands their logic rules, because with that hidden information, you have to make sure your players are aware of what's going on so that they don't have to pause, question what their rule means or doesn't mean, or what clues mean or don't mean. With that 3 to 5 players, 3-player minimum is sometimes tricky to pull off in some groups, but it is important to make sure that you have enough information to pinpoint a location of the creature. Likewise, 5 players is a good cap, because if it was any higher than that, there'd be a lot more information that would have had to be gathered or shared, and it just, I don't think, would work in that sense. The player count, while I'm not necessarily a super big fan of it, does have reasons why it is the way it is. So Cryptid does well with its logic puzzle deduction game. Everything you know is 100% true as it pertains to the rules of the other players. You may not know the exact rule. It may have a distance attached to it. It may be a does or does not exist in that terrain type or near a particular feature. So it takes a bit of logic and deduction and watching what other players' markers are telling you or not telling you to deduce what is going on. Likewise, you want to be careful with your clue giving, and that's what I think I love most about this, is with your questioning, you may be giving away information to other players based on your questioning. So it gives that clue or search for Planet X feeling, which I really love those logic-based deduction games. Because the game has some very generic art of what is specifically their water, mountain, forest, swamp, terrain, desert, what is cougar territory, what is bear territory. Everything is outlined, so even the art can stand out and everything's color-coded or symbol-coded in such a way that there is no question that is a cougar territory, or that is a bear territory, or that's mountain space versus swamp space. And that's very important, and I appreciate Osprey for doing that with this game. Likewise, there is some fun hidden Easter eggs within some of the art that I find a delight to kind of look into. Some of the opportunities of Cryptid is that complexity of the rules are just enough that you have to make sure everybody has a firm understanding before you even get to start playing the first turn. You can't see how it flows because of that hidden knowledge component. And the components, I wish were a little bit nicer in the paper stuff. The wooden components are fantastic. The cardboard map is fantastic. However, your clue books, one for each player, are a single sheet, relatively medium weight paper that are going to show wear and tear very quickly as you're looking at clues and things. And the big piece that is going to show more often than not is your first 3 booklets are used in every game. Your 4th and 5th booklet will only be used when you have that 4th or 5th player. I would have liked to see a little bit heavier paper used for those so that they would stand or be more durable, or if it was double-sided in such a sense that you can have the clues on one and you're not opening and closing a little booklet. All in all, for $35, Cryptid offers a wonderful deduction game that has a lot of variety, a lot of options, and a combination of puzzles that will allow you and your group to discover where this hidden cryptid is. Now, it is a competitive game, so you are working against the other players, trying to ease out that information from them. So if that hidden information does not jive well with your group, that may become a pain point in this game, but everything follows logical rules, so as long as everybody's being 100% honest in their clues, then the game will run smoothly and beautifully. I hope that gives you some insight on how to find out whether or not Cryptid is a game for you. This has been Tabletop Arcanum. Make sure you find our social medias at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Hit that notification, hit that subscribe, make sure you drop us a comment, and as always, thanks for listening, and happy gaming. You've been listening to Tabletop Arcanum, produced by Justin Taylor. This episode is hosted by Justin Taylor. Mixing and editing by Richard Geese. Original theme by Paul Moore and Isaac Gilbert. Check the description for this episode's featured background music. You can follow us on most social media platforms. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and leave us a review if you would. As always, thanks for listening.